Hello, and welcome back to The Sims 4 3-play build mode.
Yay! It's been a while.
It has been a while. Someone had the nerve to not have internet for 2 weeks.
I know. How dare I?
Also, good news, I'm actually managing to download a couple of the ones that I didn't think I'd be able to download.
Nice.
I have to download them directly from Twitch, though.
All right.
And the guinea pigs are in attendance.
They are.
During this portion, I'm going to actually put my save file onto my flash drive so that I can transfer what I did last night to the other computer.
All right, and we're going to Britchester for this, and there is one lot that does not have occupants, and that's called Honeydew Fields. It is a 20 by 15 lot, so it's a tiny little lot.
Well, you better make it functional or I'm going to never speak to you again.
Build up.
Or down. You got basements.
Basements are a thing, too.
I'm just kidding, by the way. I'm not gonna never talk to you again.
But first things first, bulldoze lot. Now I have to remember that the wide section is the front.
Okay.
Where the sidewalks are.
Yes.
Except for there's sidewalks all around it.
That's not what I mean. The walking paths across the road. That's what I mean.
The crosswalks.
Yeah, those.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say there's sidewalks surrounding the entire lot, so that doesn't narrow it down.
Well, by the technicality, also the sidewalk in the front is the only one touching the lot.
True.
Now she is a college student. Our sim for the day. So I would be justified in making this a struggle bus lot.
I mean, yes, but please don't do this to me. At least make it so that there's enough room that I can add the things I need for the children. If not, if you don't add the stuff for the children just because she wouldn't have kids, that's fine. Just give me like an attic or something or a basement. Okay. My saves have been transferred to flash drive. Wonderful. Now I can eject the flash drive. Now, when it's time for my portion to start, I can just quickly move the save file off the flash drive and I can get started.
I was gonna say you could almost make it sort of dorm-like, even.
Yeah, dormish. You can use all the university pack stuff.
I hope I could use the University Pack stuff since I'm using the University Pack place.
True.
Let's see. The season stuff is just so good for like doors and windows. Seasons in Strangerville just are ideal.
I have a quick aside. I'm scrolling Facebook and my friend shared this article from MSN saying that people are calling for the movie Grease to be banned because it is, quote, misogynistic, sexist, and a bit rapey, unquote.
I mean, they're not wrong.
I don't agree with the rapey part.
Kaneki is, but I never trust those. because that is an instance of rage porn that people
Yeah.
do on these sites.
Well, it's from MSN News. I don't know how reputable MSN News is. So. It is also being condemned for being homophobic and slut shaming. I don't feel like it was slut shaming though. I don't feel like there's a lot of slut shaming in that movie.
The Rizzo stuff.
Yeah, but like most of the female characters in the movie are kind of like her. I don't know. Like they have kind of similar things that they do throughout the movie. Though I guess you're right. The worst thing I could do is kind of her talking about being slut shamed. So,
Mm-hmm.
but that's why I think it's. I feel like it's like got those issues, but in a better way because it's acknowledging them.
It's
on
addressing
the side.
them.
Yeah, it's addressing them, and not just. It's not just slut shaming just to be slut shaming. It's saying like, hey, I'm being slut shamed, and it's bad.
Yep.
I don't know.
But a lot of times I'll see that in posts that are targeted toward conservatives to make them think that liberals are trying to cancel everything. So it's trying to get them up in arms.
True. Well, the person that shared the article is my friend Elizabeth Sampe that I met in the military. She is African American, very, very liberal, and she's like shared it with a bunch of emojis, like the angry face emoji. I have no words as a caption that she shared it with. So
that is a tiny ass window. Oh, I can make it bigger though.
I don't know. I just saw it and I was like, wait a minute, excuse me.
Ooh, that does not work. I made the window bigger and the pattern inside the window stayed the regular size.
Oh.
Why is the window so small? That's not even a functional window.
I'm managing to download back to episode 12 Create a Sim.
Nice.
Sweet.
But yeah, a lot of those posts they anger me because they're basically like, look at what the libtards are trying to get away with. And it's like,
right.
No one is trying to get away with that. Someone made that shit up and you're believing them because that's what you want to believe.
I mean,
you
that's
want
fair.
to believe that. And that's why Facebook and stuff piss me off, because there's a lot of that. And it's both sides. It's not just one.
For me, when I see stuff on Facebook that's like that's like this, I will initially react, as I will react, and then I usually will either I'll read the article and then I will look into it to see if it's true. And then I'll be like, okay, my reaction was either warranted or unwarranted.
Right. And that is healthy. But that is not what the majority of the Facebook users do, and that's what irritates me. It's because it works. It gets people up in arms and...
Yeah, I like to freak out about stuff that's actually true. So, yeah. I do my research on things. Even if I have an initial reaction, I still do my research and then go from there.
And that's how it should be. That's what people should do. It's not what people do, but it's what people should do. I am tempted to do mini fridge.
Okay, my friend shared this and said, "Y'all want blue eyes until you realize you have to wear glasses all year round. The clouds be too bright, the rain be too bright, the snow be too bright. Shit, even the dark be too bright. Don't get me started on the sun now. The sun is the devil of the blue-eyed people." And then my friend shared it and said, "Oh wait, do people with brown eyes not experience this?" Yeah, because people with blue eyes, it's actually your eyes are blue because of a mutation, and it makes your eyes way, way, way more sensitive to light. In case you didn't know.
I wonder how the hazel works with that.
I don't know.
And hazel is what I call my eyes, even though technically no. Excuse me. I changed the color swatch. Why did you not? And listen,
Excuse me,
game.
bitch. Excuse me, bitch.
That is not the color. But yeah, the other side of it is that I also have friends that are on the, well, actually, we were friends with one of them that would continually post stuff like that on the liberal side.
Mm.
We've kind of decided not to talk to him anymore
Right.
because he was very belligerent, but he would post that stuff all the time. It's this is why you should hate these people.
Mm-hmm. It's annoying. I don't like spreading hate in any direction whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
I actually had a really nice discussion when I was going to IKEA with my mom and sisters. My mom is pretty conservative, like more conservative than I am, and makes her feelings clear. She's not like rude or anything, and she's not like homophobic or anything like that. But she is Christian and conservative, and like she's not going to hate somebody for being gay, but she doesn't agree with it, kind of a situation.
That phrasing really gets to me because it's not
I just don't know a better way to explain it. She's Christian. She doesn't believe homosexuality is right, but she doesn't like comment if somebody's gay. She's not going to go up to you and say, "Oh, your lifestyle's wrong," or whatever, like a lot of Christians do.
No, the problem I have with it is it's not something that can be agreed or disagreed with.
Right.
Like who I am is not something you can disagree with. You disapprove. That is the word.
Yeah, well, see, I know what you mean, but Christians have, say the things that they say.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so she is that kind of a person. And so I was glad that we had a discussion. We were talking about writing diverse in books and like writing PC and all this kind of stuff. Because my mom doesn't write, but she reads a lot. And so we were talking about it. And I made a comment saying, because she was saying, if I ever wrote a book, I would write what I know. And since I don't know a lot of Black people or, whatever, my book's just not gonna be super diverse. And I was like, okay, if that's what you're comfortable with, writing what you know, then that's what you're comfortable with. But the discussion here is that it's really important for white authors to write diversely because they do get published a lot more than people of color. And say I write a book and it gets optioned for a movie, I'm not going to be able to they're not going to be able to cast a lot of people of color to star in my movie if I don't have a lot of people of color in my book.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, that whole argument plus more. And she was like, you know what? I see your point. I guess you're right. And I was like,
victory.
Victory's won.
Yeah, it was really awesome. So yeah, I had a conversation with my super conservative mom, and she kind of agreed with me, and it was awesome.
Do we have any more people? Nope. Yeah, that is actually really good. I'm trying to
Hi,
think of
Spence.
which table to use. Hello, Spence.
As of 5 minutes ago, I was busy focusing on downloading these.
Hey, Spence. Also, I saw another post on Facebook that I'm like, well said. Somebody posted a picture of a baby and said, "How can people not want these?" And somebody commented and said, "Because I don't see a cute plaything when I see a baby. I see a huge responsibility, a responsibility big enough that it will consume years of my life. It's not a puppy or a kitten that can survive on its own in a house during the day. You literally need to be present with the baby all the time. Every action is going to factor into growing and shaping the destiny of that child. The world is going to shit because we all have issues which can be traced back to our parents. Being a parent is the most important job on the planet, so stop giving birth to babies because they're cute. You're ruining the baby and the world we live in." And I'm
Thank you.
like, preach.
And that is
If someone could
exactly
explain that to my sisters, I'd appreciate it.
why I don't have children. Like, I know I could adopt, and my family's like, you could adopt. It's like, I don't want to.
Being a parent is important to mold the child into a good human, a functional human that's going to benefit the world in some way and not be a
Mhm.
detriment to the world. And if you can't do that and you're just having kids just cuz, like, come on. If you're planning for kids, don't have kids just cuz they're cute. I met my mom in a similar way yesterday. It was awesome.
Oh, I know. I'm going to put a little bit of a wall jutting out here. Yeah, I have most of a child development associate's degree. That was really hard to get out because my stomach or my diaphragm was like, no, I am going to clench. Anyway, I have most of that degree, and you learn all the stuff that you can do to royally fuck up a kid's life.
Right.
And you realize pretty quickly that if you want to actually be a good parent, you need to devote lots and lots and lots of time to your child.
Yeah.
More time than most people who give birth are willing to devote.
That's why I wanted to be a stay-at-home parent. Because I didn't want to have people in daycare spending more time with her than I do.
Mm-hmm. Which, I'm not going to get into the pros and cons of daycare because I grew up in one. Like, that is the life I lived, and I worked in both before and after school care and in preschool.
Mm-hmm.
And they have their place and there is a very unfortunate truth to this world in that people aren't able, unless they're very lucky. Unless they're very lucky, people are not able to stay home with children anymore.
Right. And see, I don't think it's wrong for people to send their kids to daycare because you have to have a job to provide.
Right.
And if you're a single parent or a dual parent and you just can't afford to not work, you do what you need to do. I had the means and the opportunity to stay home, so I wanted to stay home.
Right. And that's why you have it right, is because you acknowledge that you have the privilege to stay home with Noelle.
because it is a privilege. Like Jordan, before he got his promotion, I was gonna have to go back to work after about 6 weeks. Was how long I was gonna be able to take off, and then Jordan was telling me like, you're not gonna, we can't afford it. You can't stay home. I'm sorry. And then he got his promotion like right after Noelle was born, and he's like, no, you're good. You can stay home now. So.
Which you are the opposite of somebody that I know, where she doesn't understand that the type of life she wants, they can't afford.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She wants to just be at home. The problem is, one, this particular person doesn't actually properly, actually take care of her kid. For all intents and purposes, the amount of time she actually spending with her kid at the time, she should have been at a job. Instead of just, I can't handle the baby, gives it to grandma.
Right.
And then the baby was with grandma when grandma was working a full-time job. And taking care of the
That
baby.
sounds familiar. My mom.
But she wanted a life that, where she didn't have to work. But the problem was she wasn't putting in the effort to get to the point where she could get to that life.
Right.
Hey, Charlie, I sent you the link.
Charlie, I want all the gay babies. My house is so empty. I really need to have the money to start a ball house. See, Jordan has been dropping some very heavy hints that he wants to have another kid. One hint, in fact, was him trying to teach Noelle to tell me, I wanted a baby sister or a baby brother. And I do want to have more, but not yet. Because I don't want to have kids until I can get Noelle. I don't want to have more kids until I can get Noelle potty trained. Because if I can't even get her to be a functional toddler, I don't want to have another kid yet.
Oh, you don't want to live on the edge?
Well, plus getting Rose City just barely started. I want to get that actually bringing in more clients before I'm really ready to take on the responsibility of financially caring for another child, because children are expensive.
They are.
Yes, they are.
As someone who had to lend her sister money for diapers.
They are expensive. They are a full-time job, and
then I didn't even have a job.
Yeah, so Jordan and I have some months, so we'll go 3 or 4 months in a row where we're doing really, really good. We're not struggling with money in any way, shape, or form. And then all of a sudden, oh my God, we have negative $5 in our bank account and we don't get paid for another week and a half.
Hello, Charlie.
So.
Hello, I decided to put on all the makeup and just be myself today.
Ooh, I didn't need to see.
Oh no, it's just one of my Funkos.
Oh.
Actually, I am wearing makeup though, because I was going to make a video and I really don't want to.
Oh God, this is going to take forever.
Oh, you know what this is going to be? This is going to be like a historical landmark house.
Ooh.
So it has that little kiosk plaque thing. And there is no mailbox.
Okay. Question from one of my writing groups that I'm in on Facebook. If you could wake up tomorrow with one writing-related problem solved, what would it be?
Can it be as big as being financially stable enough to actually spend time writing?
Absolutely, because that is a problem with writing. You don't have you don't have the means to stay home and write full time because you have to work. So
then yes, I agree with that one.
One person in the comment said time. I need uninterrupted time to write. Another person said procrastination. Another person said time to edit. A bunch of people are just saying time. Several people have said finances. One person said getting my book noticed by a national book club, i.e., Oprah, Reese Witherspoon, etc.
I didn't know Reese Witherspoon was a book club in
Oh,
and
yeah.
of herself.
No,
Oh,
like they have book clubs, not that they are book clubs. Because Oprah has her book club, Reese Witherspoon has one, and she often makes movies out of some of the books that she has in her book club
Yep.
and stars in them. Either produces them or produces and stars in them. Because I think the most recent one that she was in, was it Little Fires Everywhere? I think that was in her book club, and then she was like,
Yeah,
"Oh my god, I love this book," and she made it in a movie and starred in it.
I would like companies not to lie about royalties, because that makes it really hard, like, to plan anything. Because even when they tell you how many books you sold and how much you're supposed to be getting in royalties on those, they lie.
Yeah. I think mine would probably be writer's block. I get it so often now that I barely get any work done. I wish that would just stop existing.
See, that's not something that I run into. I don't get writer's block, but I do get like super distracted.
Yeah, I just haven't been able to work on any of my projects the last couple months because I just can't think of the ideas, and when I do sit down to write, it's just like staring at a blank screen for hours, and it's exhausting.
See, I'm that horrible kind of writer who doesn't believe in writer's block, because in my own experience, at least, what I have in the past given the excuse of being writer's block was my way of covering up for other problems
Yeah.
that were actually distracting me from getting writing done. Because it's much easier to just say, "Oh, I have writer's block," than to admit that you're suffering from crippling depression.
Yeah.
I mean, I am aware that some of my writer's block issues are because of mental health, but not all of them. A big part of them is that I just can't think of the ideas. I just can't. Like, I sit there and I stare and I try to outline, I try to brainstorm, and just nothing comes to me, and it sucks.
It does,
So,
and I wasn't trying to call you out or anything. I'm just
oh no, yeah, I
this
get
has
it.
become kind of a pet peeve for me, because the first year and a half of my unscheduled mental health vacation was just me going, "Man, writer's block's real." No,
Yeah, don't worry. I'm
and
not
so I've
offended.
gotten really worried because I've seen that in so many people.
One of the best descriptions I found of writer's block was actually in, I think I've mentioned this before, was in the book. It's a book written by Allie Carter called Dear Allie, How Do You Write a Book? And she breaks it into 3 types of writer's block. But it's basically one of them is something's wrong with you, like your mental health. You need to do something for you.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the type where you literally just are procrastinating and you just need to sit your butt in the damn chair.
Mm-hmm. And probably one of them is something wrong with the story itself.
Yeah. The third one is something is actually wrong with the story, and maybe you need to look at it from a different angle.
Today I'm suffering from the 4th kind of writer's block, in that I bought Valheim last night and I don't want to be doing anything else.
No, I think that falls into the you have to sit your butt in the chair. Or play the game for a small period of time.
Oh no, that's not possible. I literally last night, the hubby had to cover for the chef, and I was like, well, I'm going to put this on for 5-10 minutes. And I literally put on a 5-10 minute YouTube video. I think it was an 11-minute YouTube video to have on in the background as a timer, because I was I want to check this out and see what I want to do. And this would have been at about 7:30 my time. And then I looked up and it was 11:55. Because this is that glorious kind of game that breaks time. Like it's no, you know what I'm saying? Like it's so engrossing. Like there's so much to do and so much to explore, and like like you completely lose connection with time. Love games like that. But yeah, like there's no like I'm gonna play for 5 minutes. I tried that yesterday. I tried.
Okay, but I'm also the type of person who doesn't say play a game for 5 minutes. It's like play this game for an hour or two, and then shoot your butt down.
Another comment on this post about the solving a writing problem. One person said to not be dyslexic or ADHD. And I'm like, I'm not dyslexic, but I am ADD, or I guess ADHD, but I have the inattentive version of ADHD, which is ADD. But that doesn't exist anymore because it's all the same thing now. Anyways, I have ADD really, really bad, and it's not fun to deal with. One that I think that Jace might relate to, the ability to use a keyboard again.
Yep.
And
God, yes.
only one that I've seen so far is on the opposite side of the spectrum. This person says, I'm too motivated and productive. Take a break, Rachel. You've already written 20K excellence today.
That was
and I'm like
here.
I wish I could relate to this one.
I want to relate to that one again.
One person said unlimited marketing funds.
Oh. That just did weird things to my insides.
This person said, I wish that my manuscript would edit itself.
I have often had this dream that I would have money to just hire an editor that I could write a draft, hand it off. They send it back with notes. I fix, hand it off again, and just not have to do the editing part.
You know what, Charlie?
That's a fantasy.
I also have that dream that you have the money to hand it off to an editor.
Same.
I have this dream that everybody has the money to hand it off to an editor.
That's one of my top 10 writing fantasies. It's just yay, the draft's done. Here, your problem now.
See, here is where I think me and Jace would probably differ a bit from other freelance editors. At least on my end, I'm willing to take payments if somebody can't afford to pay me up front. Because I want people's books to be edited and so they can make lots of money.
I agree with it in the terms that it helps people pay.
In terms of my own personal finances, it sucks, but
yeah, that no, it's the thing that I'm one of those people that is if I don't have the money, I won't have the money.
Right, that makes sense.
So putting something on a payment plan for me is the same as
it's scary.
It's the same as I don't have the money.
I mean, that makes sense, but I just want to get clients and get paid in some way, shape, or form.
Me too.
I'm working on it, yo.
Oh, speaking of which, Jace, we did get paid for the fantasy project that we did, the short story.
Oh, cool.
It's sitting in PayPal right now.
Nice.
I wish there was a way to automatically do a revenue split in Amazon or something, or if you know that your work is going to need a crazy amount of editing, to not just pay the flat rate, but to acknowledge there's no way I would have gotten this book done if it wasn't for because I think about John Hart, he was the best editor that I've worked with so far. And that book would never have sold as many copies or been as good as it was without his tutelage. He was more of a professor to me than I learned so much about writing from him.
You can list people as contributors to a project via editing I don't know what other types.
Yeah,
of
I think you can now, can't you?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, back
'Cause
when
I've
when
been listed on a couple of projects on there as an editor.
when that book came out, that wasn't a thing I could do.
See,
Yeah,
and I wish there was a way that people could go back and edit that information, because then you could go, if the book is still up, you could go and add it now. But I think you have to take the book off, edit the information, and then put the book back on there.
Oh my god, yes. We're gonna have the
Yeah.
big unicorn. The big unicorn stuffed animal, because it is named Uni. And that's just perfect for this character. Her name is Alma Mater, and she is a college student.
Oh my!
So this big stuffed unicorn called Uni, yes, all the yes.
See, I initially got excited because of the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon that had a unicorn in it named Uni.
Uh-huh.
Weird fact: it was supposed to be a dog, just a regular dog, because the guy who created the series thought that every character in a TV show should have a pet dog. And they're like, "It's Dungeons and Dragons; it shouldn't be a dog." He's like, "But dogs," and they're like, "Okay,
It's a unicorn now.
Unicorn, fine."
Oh yeah, I do remember it because it went like meh.
Yeah, that was supposed to be a dog. Because he just thought every kid should have a dog. And you can look back at every show that he helped create, and every kid has a dog. Every show that he created, except for that one. But he's got a pet unicorn.
Is there an author tuber named JL?
Apparently there
That-
is or was.
that wrote a book called Wings of Ebony?
Mm-hmm.
That
I
sounds
saw that.
familiar.
That looks awesome. That they're on a shelf with signed first edition stickered onto their freaking book. They're actually in a bookstore. Like, oh my god. Bruh. And their cover is really pretty.
Do you want a high chair or just fuck it with those?
I don't use them.
They're pointless.
Yes. I agree, but I wanted to make sure. No, let's do that. I am going to...
So,
See if-
Meadow, I may or may not have ordered that keyboard.
I haven't ordered mine yet. I have to wait until I have some more money because I went over budget on my office.
Okay, that is one thing too tall.
And I found a mouse
Uh-huh.
that's also extremely colorful, but looks. Oh, actually,
Which one did you order? Did you get the rainbow one or did you get the pink one?
the rainbow one.
Cool.
The rainbow lights. Well, the black keyboard with the rainbow lights.
Mhm.
And then I'm gonna put it in the private chat. The link to the mouse, just because it looks so cool, I couldn't resist it. Because originally the keyboard I was going to get had a mouse with it.
Ooh.
The mice that I use I've been using on my laptop are crap.
It's cool looking.
That's so pretty.
You know, Brian
The hubby can never know that this exists.
immediately sends it to your husband on Discord. Like, hey, check this mouse out.
Oh, he's already got like an ultra bright light up gamer mouse that blinds me sometimes at night because it's so bright. It shines like the sun.
It shines bright like a diamond.
That's so pretty.
Okay, now we need this area to be like a loungy area. We'll put... Oh, good. There are TV stands here. We want this TV stand with this TV.
Summit's the top of a mountain, right?
What's the top of a mountain?
Summit?
Yes. Okay, I keep using that couch. I need to not use it again. I'll use this one. Come on. Oh, yeah. Let's do that.
I love that I'm procrastinating getting my videos done by actually working on my book.
Hey, that's a win.
I found the ultimate cheat. I'm able to procrastinate and get work done.
Okay. I just saw a tweet that somebody shared from Patton Oswald. It says, guys, if you're going to write an article about me being a, quote, failed comedian, maybe don't use a picture of me holding up the Emmy I won for doing comedy with the link to the Daily Wire article about him being a failed comedian.
Yeah.
Who's going after Patton Oswald?
The Daily Wire.
Oh.
And what kind of a site are they?
Kind of like celebrity news. Here, actually, let me go. And I will tell you, Daily Wire. Click. They are. Oh, I actually think they're a conservative news outlet, which bothers me that they're going after Patton Oswalt because, like, fuck you.
The hell just happened? Just let me put a wall up there and connected it by a balcony.
Wait, what? Holy crap! What are you doing?
I didn't do it on purpose. It just did it.
What? That is some unsafe building practices right there.
Okay, so Daily Wire is a conservative news, like opinion news site. So it's not like a fact site. Unfortunately, it's the one that Ben Shapiro has his talk show thing on.
Of
I
course.
thought that was Ben Shapiro's.
Yeah, so
POS.
that's the Daily Wire. They went out. They made an article about Patton Oswalt apparently being washed up, or no, a failed comedian, not washed up.
Well, that's on brand for them.
No, they thought it was a good idea to make a school shooting video where the solution is more violence. So,
Mm.
yeah, they gave Gina Carano a movie.
I don't know. I don't really. You go on to Daily Wire that often? I see stuff from them occasionally, but I don't really follow Daily Wire.
This is really hard to untangle.
Dr. Seuss was racist?
According to...
I mean, I don't know who's saying that he's racist. It's just saying Dr. Seuss is racist. Now you know, use these books instead to help your child grow. And it says instead of this Dr. Seuss book, and then it has a bunch of other ones for like all of his main books. Okay, I'm gonna look into this.
Do not believe.
Was Dr. Seuss racist?
Oh shoot! I hate when it does that.
Okay, there are a ton of articles discussing whether he's racist or not. Like, literally, I Googled, is Dr. Seuss racist? And the entire page is all articles from various different news and media sites. It's time to talk about Dr. Seuss. Dr. Seuss controversy. New study published on racism and Dr. Seuss. Dark side of Dr. Seuss. Like,
Before he became Dr. Seuss, he worked for an ad company that had him do a bunch of I don't even know if I'm allowed to say the word, but they're Sambo ads.
Mm.
I'm looking at the Business Insider that's got like a breakdown of his early work. Which I don't see reflected in any of his later work. So
Theodore Seuss Geisel? Was that how you- Geisel? He created thousands of cartoons, illustrations, paintings, sculptures, and stories over the course of his 70-year career. Vast majority of his works were produced. He produced were positive and inspiring. Ted Geisel also drew a handful of early images which are disturbing, but none of the images are shown. So
Here, I'll put a link to the Business Insider. They're all from like when he was really young, and it's in the private chat. When he was young and working for an ad company, which means they thought these things would sell their products, which is even more disturbing to me. Like somebody looked at some of these and went, "Oh yeah, that will sell my product." Like, ew. I don't understand our country sometimes. And a lot of them were for this like bug spray, like crazy
Yeah.
racists ad for bug spray.
Flit bug spray. I can't believe it's signed Dr. Seuss on these images. Like, I feel like maybe he should have signed not Dr. Seuss to these images. Not like, I don't know, that's just bothersome to me. But it definitely is distinctive to his art style. That's really sad. I don't know. See, would this make him deserving of being canceled? Especially now that he's dead and he's not benefiting
I
from
don't
it
think so.
anymore.
It really depends on who you talk to. There are, groups and stuff these days that want to cancel everybody for everything
Yeah.
and not pay any attention to the time.
Yeah, you also have to think about when something was produced
Mm-hmm.
and the type of society, like what was happening at that time.
These images look old, like hella old, like
The Business
Before-
Insider article that I sent you said that this was basically when he was getting his start.
yeah.
So
Late-
if he did
late
some
20s.
racist images at the beginning of his life and a whole bunch of like everybody should be really cool to each other work towards the end of his life.
From
Yeah.
the 1920s through the 1940s is what the
Yeah.
article says.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just
Because these are inconsistent with like the Grinch and Oh the Places You'll Go and
like the flagships of his work
yeah, like
are nothing like that.
correct.
Also, you have to think about the company that he was working for, because he has to put what they want first. It can't
Yeah,
be.
honestly, I'm so curious about Flit Bug Spray. Like, how racist of a company was this that they were like, "Oh yeah, let's put the most racist things in our ads. That'll make us money, yay!" Like, dude, what was going on there?
I mean, a lot of these books in this initial article that I found on Facebook, a lot of the books that are being recommended, absolutely willing to, get them and have Noelle read them because it's got a lot of like written by people of color, depictions of people of color, and stuff like that, which is great. I want Noelle to read more books like that. I don't think you need to cancel someone else to do it, though.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's like I was talking with Glory the other day. Like, people need to. If I can, like, have a magic wand, one of the things that I want to erase from our culture is this idea that people don't change. I know who I was 20, 30 years ago. I'm not that person now.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm offended at who I was 20, 30 years ago.
Somebody can be racist, see that it's wrong, and change and move on, and then become an advocate for that community.
I was a racist, sexist, homophobic, evangelical Christian who believed that the world was essentially flat and 3,000 years and 6,000 years old. Like,
Yeah.
I ticked all of the conspiracy theory boxes because that's the world I grew up in.
Right.
Like, you name a conspiracy theory, I probably grew up believing in it because that's the world I grew up in. Trust me, we had opinions over what happened to the Kennedys and my great-grandmother smacked me one day because I said something about Ronald Reagan, because don't you know, boy, he's the Antichrist. Ronald Wilson Reagan. There are 6 letters in each of his names. Like, I grew up in the scary part of evangelicalism.
One of the recommendations for this, instead of reading Dr. Seuss's Book of Colors, one of the recommendations is Holy Colors by an Indian author, and it has a picture of a girl during the Festival of Colors. I think that one looks cool.
Yeah.
And there's another one called Pride Colors.
Everybody deserves a rainbow.
There's another one that says, "What color is my hijab?" And it's a little girl wearing a hijab, and it's going to go through colors, but with hijab.
Oh, I like that.
That one's pretty self-explanatory, but yeah, like some of these I'm like absolutely willing to get for Noelle.
I think they would all be good books.
Yeah.
And the Dr. Seuss one with them.
See, I have the Dr. Seuss Colors one, and then this next one in here is the Dr. Seuss ABCs, which I also have for Noelle. One of the books in here is A is for Activist. An ABC of Equality. A is for Awesome, and it has a black girl, a girl wearing a hijab, and looks like a cartoon version of Ruth Bader Ginsburg on it. Okay, yeah, here it is. It says 23 historic women who changed the world. A is for Awesome. M is for Melanin. D is for Dress Up. The ABCs of What We Wear.
That's a cool looking house.
I'm liking it. It is very cute.
It is.
And I'm
cute.
going to give it these like little gingerbread shingles. Oh, yes. And now I have to do something about this trim.
Ooh.
This is a cute AF house.
It is. And you know, it's the kind of house that they'll put so many lights on that around Halloween it's going to be singing Thriller or something.
Yes, yes, yes. There's little bushes up here.
Like the windows are laid out just right that you could like totally make a face right at the front of it, you know?
Well, you know what it needs in that case, if I can find it. It needs really. Is it in here?
Oh, Bonnie, what's going on? Are you okay?
There we go. It needs bigger. Nice big wreath right there.
Yes.
I'm kind of chilly. It's a little bit cold in my house.
Ooh, Honey has a broken ankle.
Ooh. That sucks. Been there. That's kind of like super suck for you because you're always like on the run. Like you're a mover
With kids.
with kids, yeah. Ooh, surgery on Friday. I will light a candle for you, honey.
That. Oof.
Tomorrow, my sister has her knee replacement again because they thought she was young enough that they didn't have to actually glue them in place the first time.
Wow.
So they thought her bones would grow fast enough because of her age that it would basically take care of itself. They were wrong. So they're going to have to literally take out the last knee replacement and put a new one in. So.
Okay, I need this. I need this. It's one of those posters that's got the books on there, and then you scrape it off, and it has the book cover, and then you, like, when you read them, you scrape them off, and you can, like, have this poster of all the books that you've read, and I want it.
That's pretty cool.
Because this one, like, they have different ones, because they have ones that you can customize, and then they have ones that are like this one that I'm looking at is, like, all the classics. And I actually haven't read a ton of classics in my life, so this would be a good motivator for me to read
I was
them.
forced into it.
I just read a few because most of the stuff that we read in high school were short fiction pieces and not a lot of novels. So I didn't have to read a ton of classics. And then when I was in college, we read, again, the classics we read were short stories, and everything else, like the books and stuff that we read, were more modern stuff.
Some classics are worth the name. Others,
The thing is, so many people judge people for not reading the classics, but the thing is, they're truly not for everyone, and they don't really translate well.
Like, they're really not for everyone. Pride and Prejudice is a classic. I didn't particularly enjoy it that much.
It's okay. We can still be friends.
I'm willing. As I said to Spence, I am willing to give it another try because I did read it via audiobook, and the narrator wasn't my favorite, and I feel like that might have something to do with it. So I'm willing to give it another try, but the initial reading, I didn't really like it that much.
Well, see, the other problem with the idea of the classics is if you don't particularly like that genre, like,
Yeah.
I mean, Jane Austen is a genre in and of herself.
And I do like classics. I adore Shakespeare. I adore his work. I love Shakespeare. Also, The Odyssey is one of my favorites that I read in high school. And I actually recently bought a copy that I found at a thrift store because Jordan's never read it. And I bought it because I'm forcing him to read it because that's one of my favorites.
So here's also another thing about classics. Some people do not associate certain books with classics, even though they're predate classics.
Right.
So it's like sometimes when it's like, oh, you haven't read this classic book, I'm like, that is not a classic book by the actual definition of our classic books.
Right.
technically, I want to say that like the Odyssey and the Iliad, yes, we call them classics, but in reality, compared to what we consider other classic books, they should be archaic.
Right. Tale of Two Cities, there's a classic that I really
Oh,
enjoyed.
I hate that book.
I liked it a lot. And it's
I love
funny.
Dickens.
Oh, sorry, Charlie, you say. Your thing.
Dickens, I will say, if is somebody that should be studied by every self-published author, whether you read his books or not, study his life, because he realized very quickly he was not going to make a living based off what they were paying him to write the books, and started doing book tours and other kinds of self-promotory. Like, he's really, I feel like, the spiritual godfather of self-published writers.
That's awesome. But yeah, I really like Tale of Two Cities, and when I was in high school, the copies that the class read were ones that it was a shortened version of the book that out of like a textbook that my teacher had photocopied and printed out, but she had just enough for everybody in my class but one. So she said, "Hey, one of you guys has to read the full novel." And I was like, "Hey, I volunteer." So while everybody else read a shortened version, I read the full thing.
I read it in AP English. And so our teacher actually, we each owned our copy. She went and, because she gave us the option, because she wanted us to own the copies so that we could write in them.
Right.
So she was like, she got like one of the cheaper versions, the classic versions on Barnes and Nobles, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So she got them, she was like, just everybody bring in like $6, $7. And she'd covered the rest of the cost for us. And so she bought all of us the books. And if like you couldn't afford it for some reason, she said it's fine.
Oh, that's nice.
So, and I hated it so much.
I don't know. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was good, but
also an entire class was traumatized because she had us write in books, and until that point we're not allowed to ever write in a book, and we were taught to never write in books. So to suddenly be like, "No, you're writing in this right now." What do you mean?
It was the best of books. It was the worst of books.
Oh wow, Spence, we're not going to get you back for like a week and a half. She's currently watching through all of the Lord of the Rings extended editions.
Okay, I told Jordan wanted to watch Lord of the Rings, the first one, the other day, and I was like, I am not watching Lord of the Rings until we can dedicate an entire weekend to marathoning all of them. And so we haven't watched Lord of the Rings yet.
It's so upsetting how bad the Hobbit movies were compared to how good those movies were.
I think that they were decent, but they definitely could have been better, especially living up to the Lord of the Rings movies.
Like, this is why you don't LARP a multi-million-dollar movie, because that's essentially what happened with the Hobbit movies. He didn't have the script done and was literally handing actors script pages the day of the shoots.
Yeah. I wish that they had more in their budget for the costumes, because in the original Lord of the Rings, they didn't really use a ton of CGI for like the orcs and stuff. Like, because it was actually people in costume and like, dressed up. And in the Hobbit movies, like the amount of CGI was drastic in comparison.
Also, I think he made a mistake with the high frame rate.
Yeah.
Because when we saw it in the theater, it looked terrible. It looked like a TV show. You know what I'm saying? Like, it didn't.
Right.
It made everything look cheap because you're not used to seeing a film at that high frame rate.
Right.
And so that hyperrealism, like, it felt like you could really tell, like, oh, that armor is made out of plastic. Like, it didn't. Like, watching it not in the high frame rate is a lot better. Because that was a miscalculation.
I do like Lord of the Rings, the movies. The books are really wordy. I haven't been able to get through them yet.
I love the books, but I will say, like, if you did not enjoy reading Beowulf, like if you don't reread Beowulf regularly, they're probably not for you. Like,
I have never actually read Beowulf.
I read Beowulf in high school.
Although I have seen the meme that is Scott Baio as Beowulf. Which I have to say is a funny concept.
Okay, I'll be right back because Noelle's still sleeping and she needs to wake up now.
Hey Charlie, do you enjoy that every time I see you active at a time that I'm like, why is Charlie active on Instagram?
Yeah. I have not been sleeping well.
I'm sorry.
I slept okay. No, actually, no, not okay. I slept pretty well last night. But I also slept extra. And that also poses a problem for me.
I know that feeling where you sleep so well that you wake up that you're like, have I even slept? But no, as right on schedule, my rage turned into self-destructive depression last night. Luckily, I'm okay today, so yay.
Is your fridge set up?
No.
Oh, yes, that rage.
No,
That was some bullshit.
You had come set up your fridge.
he moved it down the hallway and then not paying attention to what he was doing. Like, as I'm telling him, like, we need to get the pictures off the walls before you do this. Like, he starts pushing them down there and like knocks another framed picture off the wall. And I'm just like, what are you doing? I'm going to go kill some Greylings in Valheim. Have fun. Bye. I need to find some boar because I need some thingy so I can make a bow so I can get some deer.
So what is this game you speak of?
Okay, Valheim is a Viking survival game. It is a procedurally generated survival game. So every server is unique, and it's old school in that I'm actually probably going to put up a server for the Discord for anybody who wants to join me over the weekend. But it's like actually a peer-to-peer server, like the olden times games. So there's no monthly fee. Like you literally host your own server, kind of like, you know, Minecraft and stuff. And so so every world is different. No two worlds are the same. And it just kind of throws you in. So you're carried in literally by Odin's raven, Hugin, who is like explaining to you that this is the 10th world and that there's so much here that needs to be done if you want to earn your place in Valhalla. And then he like drops you off and is like, peace. And then he shows up a little bit later and goes, oh, by the way, there are these like 5 really, really horrible monster things. They're called the Forsaken. You should probably kill them. Bye. Peace. And he disappears. And you're kind of left alone. And it's so much fun because there's the exploration part of it. As you do various things, you unlock different abilities and different things that you can craft and whatnot. And it got rid of most of the things that make survival games really annoying. Like you get hungry, but hunger is a debuff and eating is a buff. So depending on what you eat, what buff you get from it.
Makes sense.
But you can't actually starve to death, at least so far in the game. You just get weaker and weaker and it takes you longer to do stuff. So you should eat. But, you know, it's not like, oh crap, I forgot to feed myself. Oh, dang it, I'm dead. You know, and the same thing for like all the environmental effects. Like if you get wet, that's a debuff. If you get cold, that's a debuff. but they just make it harder for you to do stuff. They don't lead to, and if you die, you have to go back and find your grave because everything that you had is there and gets slightly damaged, but you can repair it. And you're building a base, you're exploring the region, you're trying to figure out how to defeat the evil monster thingies that are around. It's just immersively fun. Like, it's in kind of a low res graphics that remind me of like MMOs from like the mid-aughts. So it isn't actually very CPU intensive. Like, you don't have to have like the world's greatest graphics card to play it, which is also really cool. But yeah, it's just exploring and everything, and exploring and building and gathering and all the things that I really like to do in games.
That would give me a very Terraria vibe.
It's so much fun.
I kind of want to play Stardew Valley now, but I need to do homework.
Sleepy Noelle when she first wakes up is so cute. Like, refreshing.
And like, my favorite feature in the game is if you tear down something that you built, you get all of the materials back.
Oh, nice.
Like, there's no penalty. There's no like, because if you accidentally put down the wrong thing, or if you like, I finally got the hoe, so I can actually level ground now. So my house isn't built in this like really weird, wonky, hilly terrain, which was the closest thing I could find to a field. So I finally figured out how to make a hoe. So I'm like leveling the ground off, and I can just tear down my old house and use those materials to build the new one.
Perfect.
But
Never underestimate the importance of a good hoe.
Never. Oh, and there are like rune stones around that like give more information about the lore of the world. So if that's a thing that you're into, like, you can really learn about what's going on. Or if you just want to build, you can just build, or you play it the way you want to play it.
Nice.
But I've been watching a lot of people playing it on Steam, and then a reviewer that I have almost universally agreed with on games did a review that I was like, okay, this is how I'm going to deal with my rage tonight.
Okay, so we have a master bedroom and a bathroom up here. Now I need to know the number of... It's going to be a lot of teenagers and children, right?
I have 2 teenagers, 2 children, and 1 toddler. And then I didn't have time to do the pregnancy yet, but he will also have a baby at some point.
Okay, and the toddler's probably going to be a child, so I can just do regular beds.
Actually, the toddler is about to age up to a child, yeah, because it is their birthday.
So it'll be 5 regular beds.
Yes.
Hopefully, you're going to leave a lot of kids in this house.
Hopefully, yeah. At least 2, because 2 of them are already teens.
Oh, the twins?
No, actually, one of the twins did not age up yet.
So they're
Wait, how does it one twin age and the other one doesn't?
Because one of them was an A student and the other one is only a B student.
Failure.
I know.
Failure stunts your growth.
Mahi is a teenager and Mudkip is a child.
Mudkip.
I know.
So basically, when I set up the server for the Discord, my question is going to be, will I have the full-on stone castle built, or anybody joins me in the game?
Noelle, say good morning, everyone.
Good morning, everyone.
Hi, Noelle.
Hi, Noelle.
Say hi, Charlie.
Polly.
Sorry.
She's eating cereal. Her mouth's like half full. Say hi, Jace.
Hey, Jace.
Hi, Noel.
Okay.
Hi.
Say hi, Spence.
Hey, Spence.
That was very clear.
Yeah. Say hi, Bonnie.
Bunny.
Okay, I think that's everyone.
Hey, Bunny.
Jordan's not here. You can kind of hear the sleepiness in her voice a little bit.
I've
She's
decided-
saying, oh, sorry. Speak.
Sorry, I was
Speak.
muttering that I've decided to play Stardew.
Noelle stayed up super late last night. A big part of me being an irresponsible parent and letting her stay up really late last night. But anyway, she stayed up really late, and so she slept in. And that's why I was like, oh my god, it's already 11. She needs to get her ass up. But yeah, she's got sleepy voice, and it's cute. Noelle, you're cute. You're cute.
This is totally college life right here.
Hey, I actually kind of want that.
See, told you.
Too many desks.
I never lived in a dorm at a college before, but I did live in the barracks in the Army, which is very similar to college dorms.
So, the dorm, because I only lived in the dorms freshman year.
Hmm.
And so we had the option of, actually, let me just bring it up so I actually make sure I get all of them correct. Because there are some that are very similar sounding, but they're completely different, as weird as that sounds.
Want to go melon?
That light is too damn big.
I want to go melon.
That's a centerpiece.
I feel like I missed out not going to college.
So we had the option of the traditional style, which is what I lived in. So there was 2 or more people in your room, and you shared the bathroom with everyone on your half of the floor. So I had, I think, 80 people on my floor. And I was on the second floor. So the first floor and the other half of my floor was boys. And then me, the entire floor above us and above them were all female.
You're making me want to be like, do a Crowley line. Hello, boys.
Male, boys, whatever. And so we should so I didn't mind living in the dorm. I just really did not want to be in my dorm room at a very specific time of day, which it was weirdly in the middle of the day because I could hear the people above us having sex
Wow.
in the middle of the day.
So
Ooh, noises.
the barracks that I lived in when I was in the Army were similar to like college dorms. Because we were at like the barracks where I lived, we were at a language school, which is basically a university environment, but only languages. And so the dorms, the barracks were this huge building, 3 floors. All the boys were on the bottom floor. All the girls were all the men were on the bottom 2 floors. All the females were on the top floor because there's way more men in the military than women. It was kind of like a U-shape building.
A me shape?
Well, no, there was one long hallway in the middle, and then 2 hallways that branched off on each end.
Tiny house.
So I guess more of like an H, yeah. And each hallway had a bathroom that everybody had to share with you, but multiple stalls for toilets, multiple shower stalls, etc.
Yeah, that's what.
And each hallway had a common room that you like had a TV and stuff. You can go hang out and whatever. And then each room, it was for 2 people. You had for each person you had a bed, a desk, and a dresser, and a wardrobe, because there was no closets. So and when you first get there, your dresser is only a 3-drawer tall dresser, and you have to, because you don't have any civilian clothes yet, and so it's just enough for like all your military stuff. And then when you get in, when you they called it phasing up, because you're in different phases while you're on the base. When you phase up and you're allowed to have your civilian clothes and stuff, you get a 7-drawer dresser, but everything else is the same. Oh, and you're no longer in bunk beds. You're in, the rooms are a little bit bigger, and each person gets their own individual bed that are twin-sized. And when you first get there in the preliminary rooms, you are in bunk beds.
So ours were in the traditional style, because that's what I was in. So the beds are actually the same across all of the campus living. So you had a bed that was essentially, if you wanted to, you could combine the beds and make bunk beds. But each person had their bed, their desk, their dresser, and a small bookshelf that sat on top of the dresser, on top of the desk, the dresser / bookshelf was your bed set on top of. And then you also had a armoire wardrobe.
So you had a loft bed?
Yeah. And then you could rearrange them and make the different combos.
That sounds kind of cool, though.
Because they're all the exact same bed. So, one person I know had it where one person in their room left their bed lofted, and another person actually unlofted their bed.
I always wanted a loft bed, but what the bedroom I had when I was younger had a slanted ceiling, and it was too low. Where the bed could fit, it was too low for the loft bed. And the other part where where it wasn't too low wasn't a big enough floor space for the bed to fit. So I never got to have one.
Okay, I think we have a
But we
house.
had to share a ladder.
Are we ready for the home?
Okay.
Yay!
Let's see. This is the outside, which is very university life, along with the commemorative plaque to say that it's a historic residence.
Yay!
On the next floor down, we have the master bedroom, a bathroom, and a common room with all the learning places, because it's a university and they're supposed to all be learning. And the beds for the people who need beds. And then down here we've got another bathroom, and this one's got the tub. So there's your baby washing station. And you've got a young person area, and the potty's here with the trash can. We've got little bean bags to sit on, and we've got our side kitchen and dining area, and our living area. And hopefully they can actually walk through here. This I'm seeing right now might be an issue, in which case you'll probably ditch a couch.
It's lovely.
Nice.
Okay. Now, in terms of the next portion of the stream, I will need 20 minutes to get set up, because I need to transfer the save file from my flash drive to the other computer.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, about 20 minutes ish.
Okay, downloaded that.
I'm super drowsy and a little bit lightheaded.
Well, and then another random thing about the traditional style dorm I was in, the building was curved,
Okay.
like so you actually could stand in the middle of the hallway and you were able to see down it.
Hmm.
Because one, it was curved, and then it was wiggly curved.
Wiggly curve.
Yeah, so it went.
Pass.
If it was not wiggly, it would have been just a C almost, but it was also wiggly.
The barracks in the army are all very not curved and wiggly.
Essentially, how we understood it was you could fire a gun and it would hit a wall before it would ever hit anyone, unless they were like 3 feet in front of you. Essentially, in the dorm.
Interesting. Noelle,
We also likes to call it the prison.
Chair.
are you gonna finish your cereal?
No, we were on the chair.
Okay. Noelle's being silly.
You know.
You're being silly.
No. No, I used to read.
And then the only common area we had was actually on the first floor. There was no common areas anywhere else in the building.
Yeah, for us, each hallway had one where it had a few couches and a TV and whatnot. Oh, and each room also, I forgot, each room had a fridge that both people had to share.
I want to move
A mini fridge. And a microwave.
Then we done count.
Because when you're, spending your whole weekend trapped in your room studying, and you are feeding yourself with microwave ramen and stuff, like a fridge and a microwave is necessary.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay.
Okay, now I can share this to the gallery. Yes, I want to connect. Why am I not connected?
Charlie, do you want to be in attendance of the next portion of the stream?
That is up to y'all. I actually got 2 more beats in my book figured out. So
Yay! Well, I'll send you the link. If you want to come over, you can come over.
I wanna come over. Okay. House is uploaded. Can you see it in the gallery?
I don't have it open right now.
Kat, do you have it open?
No, I'm on the wrong computer.
I will let you know when I get upstairs because I'm gonna go up there right now.
Okay.
I don't have the Sims 4 on this computer, so I cannot help you with this.
Because I'm on my laptop right now still. Okay, so I sent the link to everybody that's in the stream right now. And I will just see you guys over there. I'm going to go up there and get my computer turned on and get the save file transferred and whatnot.
All right.
Cool.
I'll see you in a few minutes.
Catch y'all on the other side.
Bye.
Bye.